What is up? Welcome to the award show of Pokemon Emerald version, where there's going to be 4 awards given. There is one award that I have presented in the past, but we're going to change it up here because we have not seen many Emerald Legends. I, of course, am talking about the best legendary Pokemon. We only seen 3, and we haven't encountered any of them, technically speaking, like in a battle standpoint. So, for the most part, we're gonna go change that into best Pokemon battle. Out of the whole game, besides the champion battle, what is the best battle that Stan had against versus this other person? I'm assuming it's probably gonna be like, I don't know, it's something pertaining. But if you guys could put in the comments which battle is the best one, and it doesn't have to be gym leader based, or it doesn't have to be Elite Four based. It could be based on anything really against Junior Trainer that you thought it was hilarious because Wobbuffet couldn't kill a freaking Pelipper. You know, that's a wild battle. You could also do that, or you could just say, I don't know, you could say a battle against Youngster Jimmy or something like that, where he sent out a Slacking even though he doesn't have a Slacking, and you know, I was really struggling against that just for that moment. It could be a best battle in that scenario. It doesn't have to be the best battle like ever, like I'm not talking about red versus gold or anything like that, but on that standpoint, I guess best overall, it's, you know, whether it's good quality wise, good strategy wise, good entertaining wise, whatever the case may be. And I decided to change it, like I said, because it's best legendary Pokemon, and I am saving in the future Pokemon Emerald Legends. It's just gonna be called Emerald Legends though, where I'm just gonna catch a legendary Pokemon, and in the second part of the video I'll just continue with the after game. The first couple parts might be after game first and then legendary Pokemon, so just bear with me. The second award is Best Gym Leader. So the gym leaders are as follows, and there's going to be kind of interesting stuff pertaining to this one, and you'll see why. So, is it Roxanne, who gives the Stone Badge, who has rock Pokemon, mostly Geodudes, and a Nosepass? Roxanne could be a problem because its Nosepass is very, very defensive for the early part of the game. Is it Brawly, who holds the Knuckle Badge? Brawly can be a problem if he had a Hariyama instead of a Makuhita, Meditating Mudchop. That's what he has. He probably will not be beaten in the early parts of the game. It's just impossible. You have to have like a Psychic type to beat that Hariyama if it was to that point, because Makuhita is bulky enough. Is it Watson, who gets the Dynamo Badge? He has, well, in the Ruby and Sapphire version, his ace was a Magneton, but he has a Magneton in Emerald version as well, but his new ace is Manectric, and they also have like Electrike and Voltorbs here and there. Watson is actually my first loss in my first Emerald version, not Nuzlocke or anything like that, but just first loss in general, just playing through the game for my first time. But that's kind of the fault of the family member that told me that I should, I don't know, I had a Marstorm, I had no excuse, I lost, but I was listening to the other guy. Don't crucify me, dang it, jeez. Anyway, is it Flannery for the, I don't remember, is it the He Badge? I think it's the He Badge. Who is not sure of herself, but I feel like she's sure of herself now, just because of the battle that we had. Afterwards, she just feels like I probably should act like myself next time, because she has herself a Torkoal, a Camerupt, I think a Slugma, and a Numel, I'm pretty sure. And her Torkoal is also really defensive. Very defensive monster in 3rd gen, now that I'm noticing. But she overheats, and she has a White Herb, and that could be really, really problematic. And yeah. Or is it Norman of the Balance Badge? We see him first, but we fight him fifth. I mean, he's no Giovanni, but Norman is probably a lot of people's fan favorites just because you got that connection with him, and you know that he's tough. You know that as soon as you face him, he's going to be a problem. He has 2 Slackings in Ruby and Sapphire, I'm sure, and yeah, that is really, really problematic. He is no joke. Whenever you fight a Slacking, it's no joke. Only if you like, I don't know, like protect, stat up, you know, on his loathing turns, something like that. Is it Winona of the Feather Badge? I'm not too good at remembering the badges names when it comes to Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Just the first 2 generations, to be honest. Winona has an Altaria, Skarmory, Tropius, Pelipper, and Swalo, I think. Those are the 5 Pokemon, correct? She is actually pretty well diverse, and Altarias could be a problem if you don't have a good counter to that. Especially, I think, in Ruby and Sapphire, possibly Emerald as well. It has like Earthquake, and it can learn Flamethrower and Ice Beam. Like, if it's just an Altaria of my choice, those are the moves I would put on it. But you can see why it could be problematic. Is it Tate and Liza? I don't know. I'm not sure if I could separate them or just put them together. Because in Ruby and Sapphire, I would consider them together. Because it's just Solrock and Lunatone, you know, they're not much different. Or in the Emerald version, if you want to, you could say Tate over Liza. But to be honest, I'm not expecting Tate or Liza to get any votes, only because I don't know. I don't think I ever heard of a person that, I mean, that vocally says they like Tate and Liza, like, you know, over another gym leader. Maybe if it's another gym leader they hate, I guess, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you guys could separate Tate and Liza only if, let's say, I'm not sure, like, because in Emerald version, they have more than just Solrock and Lunatone. They have, like, a Dusclops, or not Dusclops, I get Dusclops and Claydol mixed up. They have, like, also a Claydol and a Xatu, and, I don't know, just to see who's better. I mean, that could be your own question of the day just there by itself. And the next gym leader for Ruby and Sapphire version, it is Wallace. He is the 8th gym leader. He has Milotic, he has Love Disc. I don't remember the rest of his Pokemon. It's like Wishcash, Ludicolo, and I want to say Celio for some reason. Yeah, Wallace. When I played him at Sapphire version, when I showed you guys that episode, he seemed pretty problematic, you know, just besides the fact that I had a legendary against him. I can see why Milotic is just a huge issue. It has like Mirror Coat, Recover, it has Water Pulse or Hydro Pump or whatever, and Ice Beam. And if it really wanted to, it could just stall you out with Toxic if it had it. I don't remember the moveset, but geez, Milotic is just so bulky. And in Emerald version, the last choice is, of course, Juan, who is the other water gym leader in the future. If you haven't seen the finale, and not skip the first 2 parts of the finale, then there's a reason why to this. But when I faced Juan, he had a very, very jerkish moveset for his Kingdra. And there's just no excuse for Wallace as well for certain reasons. You know why, if you know what part I'm talking about. Juan has a Kingdra. That's his ace. Who has Double Team, Rest, and he had a Chesto Berry. And he would Water Pulse you. And I don't remember what the other move he had. But I had no choice but to stall him out. I literally just got tired of it. Because I would just get him to a point to a certain health bar, and he would just rest again, and that was his bull. But yeah, out of all those choices, who is the best gym leader in your eyes? Now, the next award is, of course, Best Elite Four Member. Out of all these Elite Four members, what do you think is the best? And of course, this also applies to gym leaders. It doesn't have to be the best, like, out of overall, because obviously, well, you know, Wallace and Juan are the highest level, so therefore they're the strongest, you know, there we go. Questions answered. No, if they were all in an even playing field, and not only that, not just by strategy and skill of the battler, just if you like the person, you know, if it's your favorite person or you don't like the person at all, maybe you like Watson because he wanted you to help him out in New Mauville and he gives you Thunderbolts and he seems like a very cheery person and you want to vote for that because you just connect with them or something like that. You know, when you battle him, you know, you just get the sense like he's a very jolly guy. I like him, and you know, he always poses a challenge. Some like along those lines, or is Norman because he's really tough and you know he's my dad. But don't say it like that. But you know what I mean. So the first Elite Four member is Sydney. Sydney is the Dark type user who has Mightyena, Absol, Crawdaunt, Cacturn, Sharpedo sometimes, and Shiftry. Dark type is the least offensive type, but that doesn't mean that he's bad at it, because there is Crawdaunt and there is Absol that could just stat up in Swords Dances, and Shiftry is also a problem. Even though he's a little bit frail, and so is Cacturn, they could still pose a lot of, just so much problems. So you just have to just worry about that. And I'm so happy that my Wobbuffet took care of that Absol, because I knew it was able to, but if it like had a Night Slash and critted me, I probably would have just completely just died pretty much. But yeah, the next Elite Four member is Phoebe. Phoebe is an interesting one because in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there's like a theory or something that there's like a little ghost girl. I don't see her. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I literally don't see her. They said that she's there and she's moving. I could see the camera moving when Phoebe's there, but you know, when the camera turns again, I don't see her in the corner. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys are gonna have to slowly, like, just treat me like I'm dumb or something, because it's like, see, she's right here. You can see her right ear right there on the wall, you know, and this is her chin, you know, and this is her mouth. And this is her dress. See, established that she's a girl. Just treat me like I'm dumb, because I kind of am. I don't see a little girl. I just know she's there because she's moving. You know, I probably wouldn't have known, not only because I don't have the games, but the fact that I just hear about it and I wouldn't have figured it out. I would just think that the camera's just moving just for creepiness sake. I wouldn't think, oh geez, there's a little ghost girl there. Anyway, that's besides the point. She has Dusclops, Bayonet, and Sableye. That's pretty much it. In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they give her a Dusknoir, which makes sense. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Phoebe is from Mount Pyre, is another thing that I wanted to mention. So it's kind of interesting how they connect to the Groudon Kyogre situation. But that is about it. The next Elite Four member is Glacia. Glacia is an Ice type. The true teacher of Winter's Harshness. Price could just go somewhere else with this, it really doesn't matter. He does not compare. Like, what is a Piloswine compared to a Walrein that knows Sheer Cold? There's literally Nuzlocke that ended from Walrein Sheer Colding everything until there's one Pokemon left that can't do a single thing, because most people, when they're doing Nuzlocke or just playing in general, use a strong Pokemon against Walrein or a strong Pokemon against a certain Pokemon, you know? And if those first 5 Pokemon are out, most likely the last one can't do a single thing about it, because there's a reason why he wasn't sent out first or second or third, but last, you know? And then that will be a huge problem. You see? And besides Walrein, she also has a Celio and a Glalie. In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, she has a Frostlass, I believe. And yeah, that's pretty much it about Glacia, the true teacher of Winter Harshness. Is it the last Elite Four member, Drake? Drake is a Dragon Master. He, in Ruby and Sapphire, has 2 Flygons and Altaria, a Salamence, and in Emerald version, they, instead of having 2 Flygons, it will just put into 1 and have Kingdra in there in the mix. I kind of like that there's the 3 dragons of Hoenn, you know, Flygon, Altaria, Salamence. That was literally half my team. And, you know, there's this Kingdra, and I thought there was some other... Oh, there's Shelgon. Yeah, I forgot about Shelgon. I don't like when there's like second evolutions in Elite Fours. Like, don't have Haunter, just have the Gengar. Don't have, you know, what was it? But you know what I mean. Don't have Shogun, just have a Salamence. If you could have just gave him a Dragonite and that would have been fine. Those are all the dragons right there. And yeah, even though you can't find a Dratini, nobody's gonna question you, because I've seen a little bit more questionable things with other trainers, with their Game Shark Machamps and stuff like that. Anyway though, those are all the Elite Four members. Be sure to go comment that. And there is one more award to give out, and that is Best Team Member, where all the members, just depending on you guys, whether it's the best Pokemon just overall, being favorites of the Let's Play, being the strongest out of all the other Pokemon, being the most helpful, being really clutch when we needed to, just whatever the reason is. So the first Pokemon is obviously my starter Pokemon, Swampert, also known as Cartman. She's been in here with us since day one. She is a naughty nature Cartman who's mostly physical, finally has Earthquake in the final parts of the main story, and Swampert's been with us through thick and thin. Imagine if we had Rain Dance and Ice Punch and there was actual special physical split, how much lives it would destroy with Swift Swim. My gosh, it would wreck lives. It would totally wreck lives. This is the second Pokemon Breloom, where we got a Shroomish in Petalburg Forest. The guy asked us if we had a Shroomish, and we said no. And we put Breloom up in the shelf only because it's... I didn't really have a real reason to it, but that doesn't mean the fact that I didn't dislike Breloom anymore. I saw true potential in Breloom. I wouldn't choose Pokemon that I don't like in my team ever. Unless, like, I'm forced to in, like, a Nuzlocke or something like that, I guess. But Breloom was there, and he did damage. He Sky Uppercutted everything. He Giga Drained stuff. He Effect Spore where it really mattered. And if you miss Breloom, and you know you're watching the award show and really like him, maybe this Kyle is gonna be your pick. She is also a girl. Is it Skarmory? I think it's a guy, right? Skarmory's a guy, or is it a girl as well? I don't remember. Skarmory, Steel Flying type, also known as Kenny. The reason I called it Kenny is because, I don't know, I just thought like if Kenny had accidents, he will be metal plated everywhere or something like that. That's just how I imagine it. Is it him? He actually holds the most, like to me, he's like the flag of the whole team, where if you don't know what to do, go to Skarmory, and if not, well, obviously a different Pokemon that we'll point out, but Skarmory, you know, is, I don't know if it's not exactly a pun, but he is definitely the sturdy one of the team. You know, he is definitely the steel type that will take a hit and give just as much damage back, and he or she really means a lot to me. Not because it's just Skarnite, Skarmory, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's not a question of a mascot. I would consider my mascot to be Typhlosion anyway, because he's my favorite Pokemon. But you know what I mean. Is it Wobbuffet, aka Timmy? The one that nobody expected me to use in the team. The one that proven herself at the end of the day, at the end of the main story, it's proven itself worthy of joining the team, because, you know, it wasn't exactly the best idea going up against a Pelipper or going up against a Wingull. But when it came to the Elite Four, I brought it against an Absol, where an Absol should completely destroy Wobbuffet. Boom, killed it. And then obviously in the final parts, and finale part 3, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it, but it was there when I needed it as well. It's also a very It's the second flag on the moon. I kind of don't want to say it like that because then it would just lose meaning to have 2 flags on the moon, but you know what I mean. It's really, really good. I feel like it's one of those flags. Do you remember that Pokemon episode where there's like a big old wave and all these flags are on the mountain, but they're not even on top of it, and there's only 1 flag on top of the mountain, and this surfer guy, he really wants to have his flag on top of the mountain. That's like the biggest goal he had. And then he tried and tried, and then the one time the biggest wave is coming again, and then he rode on that and got his second flag on there. That has meaning. That's Wobbuffet right there. Is it Electrode? Another Pokemon that wasn't expected to join my team. I had a very, very bizarre team indeed. His name is Jimmy, genderless Jimmy. Electrode, the fastest Pokemon that's non-legendary in the game. He definitely... I probably would have lost if it wasn't for Jimmy as well, because he has Shockwave, and I should have gave Skarmory Aerial Ace, or else I would also use Skarmory a little bit more. But the fact that Electrode was there because I had Shockwaves, because I knew I gave specifically Electrode Shockwave because I was noticing like Swaylo's double teaming, and I didn't want that to happen with any other Pokemon. Lo and behold, that happened more often than I thought, but Jimmy was there. Is it Garrison, the Kecleon? Garrison is a special defensive beast. I just don't like the fact that it's really, really slow. It bothers me. But I like the fact that it has Shadow Ball on it. It's a physical type move in 3rd gen. It had Brick Break. It has Strength. Another thing that sucked about it, not really sucked about it, but I didn't like the fact that once you hit it, it becomes a different type, so I just lose my stat because they outspeed me. You know, I don't like that very much, but it's really, really good nonetheless. Is it Ninetales, the Pokemon that someone actually predicted me using, which is kind of awesome. Windy, if it was a guy, I would just still call it Windy, but then nickname it Windu. So I'm just gonna call it Windu anyway. Mace Windu. Ninetales is, you already know, Ninetales in general is just awesome. It's an offensive Pokemon, mostly a defensive fire type. I mean, you could run Arcanine defensive, that would benefit you more, but you know what I mean. Ninetales in Mount Pyre caught her, and it was kind of funny because someone predicted, and I was like, oh, you know, stuff like that. I'm glad I used Ninetales. I always wanted to use a Ninetales in video, so I'm glad I got to use her. And someday I'll use, I don't know, I just want to use, I'm going to try my best. I don't think it's going to happen on time, but I want to use almost every Pokemon in a Pokemon game, somehow, some way. Maybe it will happen. I just want to use all my favorite Pokemon. Maybe not all Pokemon because I'm not using Sableye. I'm not even giving it a chance. It's not the Spinda at that point. It's not the shiny Spinda either. I'm just not using Sableye. I hate Sableye with a passion. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. But yeah, actually, yeah, those are all the Pokemon. What the heck? Yeah, so either Cartman, Breloom, Skarmory, Wobbuffet, Electrode, or Ninetales, or Kecleon. I think I missed Kecleon. But yeah, out of all those Pokemon, vote for your favorite one. Vote for your favorite gym leader. Vote for your favorite battle. Vote for your favorite Elite Four member and team member. So, in the next V.U.R is definitely going to be the awards show. Let your voice be heard in the comment section below. Don't be a stranger. Be sure to go do that. Be sure to click on that like button to spread the word, to see, you know, because on the award show alone, if you are watching this and someone just shared this with you, keep on sharing it, because I want more people to watch the Emerald version Let's Play that I had. And if not, maybe this will get the person that's watching right now to watch other stuff like Majora's Mask, or I know a lot of people have been watching Super Mario 64. I'm not sure why. Well, I guess it's fine, but you know what I mean. Be sure to go watch that stuff. I got a lot of good stuff coming up in the future, but in the meantime, that is it for today's video. You've been scarred by the night. I'm out.